Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation with a focus on a powerful principle. Conceal your mistakes. Keep your hands clean. This is Law 26 from our series. Throughout this session, we'll explore how maintaining a composed and strategic approach can help you manage errors effectively. We'll discuss practical ways to hide mistakes and preserve your reputation. So, let's dive in and discover how to master this important skill. You need to present yourself as a paragon of civility and efficiency. Essentially, you want to appear polished and above reproach at all times. Your hands should never be soiled by mistakes or nasty deeds, which means avoiding direct involvement whenever possible. To maintain this spotless image, it's common to use others as scapegoats or catspaws, that is, pawns or intermediaries, to disguise your involvement. This way, you can shift blame or responsibility away from yourself, ensuring your reputation remains untarnished. This approach ties into the overall theme of maintaining control and a pristine image, especially in a context where appearances are everything. In this slide, we're exploring the story of the cat's paw, which illustrates a clever but often risky strategy. The key lesson here is about using others to do the dangerous or dirty work for us. Essentially, you get the reward, but someone else takes the heat or the blame. In the story, a monkey wants to enjoy some chestnuts roasting in a fire, but he's worried about getting burned. So, he persuades a cat to pull the chestnuts out for him. Unfortunately, the cat gets burned in the process, while the monkey happily eats the chestnuts. This fable highlights how we can sometimes manipulate others into taking the risks for us, but it also warns us about the potential consequences. It connects to the broader theme of strategic thinking. Sometimes, leveraging others is beneficial, but we must be aware of the risks involved. Once the job was done, Cesare knew that the hatred from the people would inevitably turn on him. To regain control and cleanse his hands of the bloodshed, he had Ramiro de Orco, his appointed enforcer, cut in half and displayed in the town square. This brutal act shocked the people, but it also satisfied them, giving the impression that justice had been served. As a result, Cesare appeared as a just savior who took decisive action to restore order. This moment highlights how Cesare used extreme measures to maintain authority, especially in the chaotic Romagna region. Appointing Ramiro, a cruel enforcer, was part of his strategy to impose peace through fear and strength. But as we'll see, this approach also set the stage for further complexities in his rule. So let's talk about the concept of the scapegoat. Always have a scapegoat ready, someone who can take the fall when things go wrong. This is often a subordinate or an outsider, and it's a way to redirect blame and maintain a sense of order. The mob, or the group demanding justice, doesn't really care if the person is truly guilty. What they want is someone to punish to restore that feeling of balance. When a mistake happens, someone has to suffer the consequences. And here's the key point. If you happen to be the one who suffers, your authority can be damaged. It's almost like a warning that being the scapegoat can undermine your position if you're not careful. Now, this leads us to the idea of the convenient victim. This is about choosing someone who is easy to blame, someone who fits the narrative and can be sacrificed without too much resistance. It's a strategic move to satisfy the group's need for punishment and to restore perceived order, regardless of whether that person is truly at fault. Connecting this to the overall theme, it shows how blame and sacrifice often serve as tools for maintaining control and unity within a group, especially in moments of crisis or upheaval. When it comes to maintaining power, always leave yourself an exit route. This means ensuring there's no paper trail that can link you to any questionable actions. It's about keeping your hands clean and your reputation intact. Next, plausible deniability is crucial. Never strike an enemy directly if you can use a third party instead. This way, you can deny involvement and avoid creating enemies or escalating conflicts. It's a way to stay in control without getting caught in the crossfire. Indirect action is also key. Your reputation for being perfect depends on your ability to hide your involvement in any negative outcomes. If things go wrong, you want to be seen as uninvolved, maintaining that image of competence and control. And finally, innocence. Protecting your image means always appearing innocent, even if you're orchestrating behind the scenes. It's about controlling how others perceive you so that you maintain your power and influence. All these points tie back to the core idea of strategic power, controlling the narrative and protecting yourself at all costs. Now, let's talk about a tricky situation that leaders sometimes face. If you are undeniably the leader, using a scapegoat can sometimes backfire. It might make you appear weak or cowardly in the eyes of others. But here's the interesting part. There are moments when accepting responsibility with dignity actually works in your favor. It can increase your stature, showing that you're a strong leader who's willing to protect their team and face challenges head-on. While these moments are rare, they do exist. Sometimes, taking the blame yourself can demonstrate integrity and strength, reinforcing your leadership qualities. This leads us to the concept of what I like to call the noble fall. It's a reversal. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is accept responsibility, even if it's not entirely your fault. It's about transforming a potential weakness into a symbol of true leadership. Remember, how you handle blame can define your leadership style and influence how your team perceives you in the long run. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the sources of the images we've used throughout this presentation. First, the elegant lily bloom you see here is from stockcake.com, which offers a beautiful variety of stock images. Next, the hand image is from isticphoto.com, capturing a detailed, close-up shot that emphasizes human connection. The starry goat silhouette, also from stockcake.com, adds a whimsical touch and symbolizes inspiration and curiosity. Moving on, the portrait of Cesare Borgia is sourced from Wikimedia Commons, illustrating historical figures and their influence on leadership themes. The image of the monkey forcing a cat to take chestnuts out of the fire comes from Vectisi, highlighting the theme of manipulation or control in a humorous way. Finally, the puppeteer pulling strings is from Pond5, which visually represents the concept of influence, control, and the unseen forces that guide actions. By acknowledging these sources, we emphasize the importance of diverse visuals to enhance our understanding of the overarching themes discussed today.